Good morning, I'm Jools Hamilton. I mentioned a couple of weeks ago that I might try to stay with the ancient Hebrew story of Moses as a place to give birth to some thoughts during the second semester. And if I remember correctly, we had a few moments on the arrival of a new king who knew nothing of the past and immediately threatened the future through violence in the present. So the narrative moves on, and a baby boy is born and hidden and discovered, and his life takes on a path that could not be imagined by anyone. Indeed, he becomes something like a prince in the royal court. So we've gone from panic and shame and fear in the midst of unknownness to privilege, position, and partying. Then, like any good narrative, there is a massive twist, this one involving murder and secrets and blackmail, and leads to Moses being on the run. And so we have dislocation and dissatisfaction, but yet a certain curiosity remains with Moses because he stays curious enough in these later years to check out the bush that does not appear to be burning up while he sees it in the wilderness. Things, it would seem, are never what they seem. Lo and behold, divine life calls from the midst of this mystery and invites Moses into continuing adventure. What a life thus far. Far from, born surrounded by violence and threat of violence, to a rescue coming from the most unlikely of places, that place being the royal house that was the source of the violence, through to the inner violence of a quest for meaning and purpose and dignity and healing and wholeness, leading to the disaster of becoming a dangerously violent man himself, only to be found out and blackmailed and banished, to this old man wandering in the wilderness as a shepherd. And by the way, in that wilderness wandering, actually saves other women from violence. And then, marries one of them. Here in the midst of this moment of divine revelation coming from a bush that is on fire but not burning up, here in this moment, after a lifetime defined in so many ways by displacement and force and violence, God calls Moses to something more, something new. And Moses' reaction? Who on earth are you? The divine mystery has revealed itself as God of the ancestors, and Moses, after a while, needs to know more. And so he says, but who are you? What is your name? And so we get it. We get the name God gives God's self in Scripture. It's a big, big moment. Divine life coming from a fire that is not consuming anything says a yea, a share, a yea. Forgive my biblical Hebrew. Actually don't. Nobody knows exactly how that would have been pronounced in the Ancient of Days. So listen, my guess is in line with yours. The point? The name God gives God's self is past, present, and future participle of a verb to be. I am that I am. In other words, I was, I am, and I will be. Tell me your name, Moses asks, and divine life replies, I was, I am, and I will be. Now that's a showstopper. That's God telling Moses and telling us that I was there, I am here, and I will be there. This is how God chooses to reveal God's self in name. There isn't somewhere I wasn't. There isn't somewhere I am not. There isn't somewhere I will not be. This God gives himself the name of constant presence. Friends, as this week continues, as Lent continues, as lockdown lengthens, why not take a few minutes to read the narrative for yourself, or just walk or sit or reflect and meditate and be at one time scandalized and also sustained by divine life that, as it spoke to Moses, spoke with the assurance, I was, I am, and I will be. Sheer being itself, constantly present to us. Peace to you as you continue this week.